our very first episode of Stage Left with me, your host, Stephanie Blue, and my gorgeous husband and celebrity co-host, Chris Blue. So you're probably wondering how we met, right? Because you probably have no idea who we are. So let's give you a bit of a backstory. Chris, we want the truth and we need it very short.
I got you.
Of how we met.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
All right, here we go. So this is how Steph and I met. She stalked me. It was very traumatic. I didn't think I was going to do it. But then we fell in love, and that's how it happened.
So now you can understand why I emphasize truth and short. That's a lie. I did not stalk him, but I did come here 4 years ago. I always get mixed up. I feel like it's been forever. That's why I keep saying 5.
It's okay.
4 years ago, I came to America. I did a camping project thing that my university sent me on. It was dreadful. Shout out to Camp Wesley Woods, I'm sorry. And I ended up basically hating it because I'm not a camp type of girl. But in the process, destiny so had it that I met this.
Okay, so wait,
man.
let's get back to this whole stalking thing, right? Just a simple question, right? Simple question.
Okay.
Who saw who first? Did you see me first, or did I see you first?
Okay, I saw you first.
Okay, cut. We can just cut it right there. That's all we need.
To find out more about how we met and the truth of the version of the truth of the version, the version which is the truth, head to Black Talent TV to find out more. Now, this show, guys, is all about your favorite entertainers, some that you probably know right now and others who you're going to grow to know and absolutely love.
It focuses on the relationships about people that you don't see, like the people that you want to know, like who, okay, so which stuntman did that, or which producer produced this movie, or director directed this movie.
Right.
It focuses on the relationships and the people that you don't necessarily get to see out in the forefront, but we're going to reveal to you guys right here on Stage Left.
Right, because all those relationships have helped catapult their career into the next level. Now, with that being said, we're going to be having weekly news where you'll see my face more often, sadly not Chris's. And I'll be giving you some weekly news as well as some great interviews. Now, this show is all about edifying you and helping you to learn about how to grow in the entertainment industry yourself. So as well as having all the news and the good juicy stuff that's going on that you may or may not know about, this is also going to give you some great tips on how to take your career in the entertainment industry to the next level. So, with that being said, who are we interviewing today, Chris? I mean, what movie are we talking about today, Chris?
We're talking about Jinn!
Jinn, which is hitting theaters today, November 15th. It has been classified as being in the top 50 most anticipated movies in America, as well as winning the SXSW 2018 award. Let's take a look at the trailer of Jinn.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I dance because my grandmother danced. Movement is one of my only connections to my lineage, to my DNA. My identity is shaped by my parents. They come from 2 very different worlds.
And your mother, she's discovering things.
Summer, put that back on.
You ever thought about maybe temporarily giving in?
You mean like converting to Islam?
No.
I think you look cute in the scarf. You can play around with it.
You gonna wear that to work?
I have finally found something that makes me happy, and you want to mock it instead of maybe learning something.
Learning what? How to hide behind scarves and holy passages instead of just saying you want to be accepted for once.
I didn't know you got down like that. Photos everywhere. You're a hashtag.
I see some of my young Muslims flaunting their bodies and using Islam as a way to be liked. But I say to you, young woman, stop before your photos become actions.
I'm becoming someone I don't know.
I introduced her to the truth.
No, it is your truth, Jane. It is your truth.
My mother throws God at me, but I was born to smoke his fire. She was born of clay. I may never see my mom again. She disappeared in a holy book for another day.
I know what you did, Summer.
We want each other. We both want each other. And a religion can't stop that. I'm sorry.
I am a smokeless fire. I am a smokeless flame. They call him Jinn.
I don't even have nothing to say.
I don't either. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be nuts.
Date night.
Okay, I'll buy the napkins.
Fine, then I'll buy the parking spot.
You can't buy the parking spot. Anyway, Jinn is such a great movie. It has so many valuable lessons of sexuality, religion, and identity. Something that I feel like we all struggle with at some point in our life. The diverse personalities that you see that take place in the cast, as well as just the whole aura of the movie, it's a great reflection of one of the producers, my favorite person right now, April Speaks.
April's goal, I believe, is to diversify the film and just kind of make the film industry more creative and unique.
Yeah.
And just, she's educating us and she's helping, empowering, and inspiring other filmmakers, which is what I think is really, really cool. Her focus also is a movement, you know, consisting of media that represents the true and multi-dimensional qualities of people in life, that speaks to the world, speaks to our heart.
Look at you all being all poetic. Anyway, April's amazing. This is not the only project that she's worked on. She's actually currently working on a few other projects, one of them being the upcoming featuring film Hosea. She's one of the producers on that. She also works with the BET Network as one of the producing managers of the scripted programs, which is again incredible. She's also known to work on projects such as the TNT docu-series American Race.
She's on American Race.
She's on American Race. This girl is on everything. Okay, that's what I said. April, you're my favorite person. Hashtag I'm just saying.
Mine
okay?
too.
She's a superhero. So with all of that being said, let's get the amazing April Speaks on and find out some more about this film. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, April. We're so excited to speak to you about this amazing project. First question that I wanted to ask you was, how did you get connected with this project?
So I got connected with this project through the writer-director, Nigella Mookman. We started working together years ago. We met through a networking event and just really took to each other and realized we had a similar creative vibe and started working together on different projects. So we started working on short projects. Like I would work on her project, she would work on mine, so on and so forth. And then we did a short film called Dream. And we had such a good experience on that, working on that project. And then she said, I've got this other script called Jinn. What do you think about it? And so I read the script and loved it. I wasn't sure that I would have to produce it, but just kind of over the course of time, we just kind of, I became the producer and we just started working together in that capacity on the film. So that's how I got involved with this production, was from working with Nigella before on other projects.
Okay, awesome.
That's pretty interesting because like this part of the segment, of the show is all about like relationships. And it's interesting that you talk about even your involvement in the movie, like your relationship with the writer-director started before this, right? And so I had a question, like, are there any other maybe platonic or even, I don't know if we can go this far, but even like it may be romantic relationships that help inspire you in the production of this movie?
I would definitely say just more like platonic or just mentorship type of relationships that I've had that have inspired me. I think about, I have a professor who I consider to be a mentor still. Her name is Carmen Cousteau, and she was a professor that I had at University of Maryland. Another professor, Paula Matabani, when I took film classes at Howard University. And both of them kind of have that independent film spirit. And I think that they sort of kind of train me in that way. And I think that that's what kind of helped inspire the production of Jinn, was kind of seeing them as examples and having that relationship with them and learning from them definitely had an impact on like my mindset in the making of this film.
Wow. Now, Carmen, you said Carmen Cousteau?
Oh. Carmen Cousteau. Yeah, she did a film. She used to go to USC, and she's, she was a film professor. at University of Maryland, and she also, has made films. She made a film called Extra Change that it's a short film actually, and it just impacted me so much over the course of my filmmaking career, because it was so much. It was about a little girl growing up, and just kind of like those growing pains that it's like a little Black girl, and like the growing pains that you experience over feeling like you're not pretty enough, or like you're not good enough. And it was such a cute little film, and I related to it so much. And that was one of the first times I saw myself on a screen that way. But she was around during that time with the like the LA Rebellion and all of those filmmakers who were, kind of making their mark in the film industry in Los Angeles. She was part of that, in that same time frame. And so just that mindset that whole group had about how they're going to make films and why they're making films as well was just a huge inspiration for me. And I definitely carry that into like how I make movies now.
That's really cool, man. And I've been thinking about this. Jinn is such a timely movie for like our generation, because like you got a lot of young people in general, not just young, but like people in general,
everyone.
like struggling with like identities. Like sometimes I wake up and I don't know who I am. So just a quick question. After watching this movie, what is the main message you want your audience to get? Like, what's the thing that you want people to receive after watching this movie?
I think I would love for people to take away that, just like he says, like sometimes you don't know who you are, and that's okay. Like we're all on a journey, and we're all exploring and trying to find ourselves and trying to define what that means. And even that word definition, means different things to different people, but it's okay, because we're all on a journey. And I think that we find the best parts of ourselves when we allow ourselves to be open to that journey and enjoy the journey. And I think that that's one of the things that the film does so well. It allows Summer to go on this journey of finding herself and finding her place in religion, and finding her place within her family and among her friends and among love. Like there's so many different areas that she's just looking for her own identity. And she's 16 years old. Like, when you're 16 years old, you're trying to figure it out, and she's trying to figure it out. And I think that's okay. And it's a beautiful thing. I think we need to see that as beautiful.
Yeah, babe. Like I'm on a journey,
Okay.
It's beautiful. April
Thank
said
you for
it's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah, April said for summer it was beautiful. But anyway, so you have such an amazing cast, right, behind the movie. Some really heavyweight actors and actresses, such as Simone and Dorian, because I absolutely love them. What was the process that you went through for finalizing the amazing cast you have?
Yeah, it was a pretty organic process finding our cast. You mentioned Simone and Dorian. They actually came to us through, we reached out to Dorian because we figured we wanted him to play the father. We reached out to him, and then he read the script and said, I think my wife would actually love this. And he passed it on to her, and she loved it. And that's how she got involved with the project and loved it so much that she even became an executive producer on the project. And so it just kind of happened organically that way. And our lead, we had, several actors in Los Angeles submit self-tapes. And so she submitted a self-tape, and the director, Nigella, she watched it and was like, who is this person? And then we ended up bringing her as well as a few other actors in for an audition. And so we auditioned them, and they did a dance routine. And like we had them just like do a little choreographed dance to like a Sierra song or something like that. And
like Level Up or anything like that, where it was,
It wasn't Level Up. I don't even remember what song it was, but but it's like, so we just took over the room, and we were just like, that is who we want. Like, that is our Summer. So we were just so taken by her. And a lot of the other people came through auditions. A lot of people came up through that audition process. And, and I think, trying to think, Yeah, most of them came through the audition process, with the exception of Hisham Tawfiq, who plays the imam. He actually found us via Kickstarter. When we did our Kickstarter campaign in the very beginning of the project, he found the Kickstarter and was like, he grew up Muslim and was like, this is my story. I want to be a part of it no matter what, like, I'm in. And so he was actually one of the first ones to sign on and to come on board because he just identified with it so much.
That's pretty cool. So would you say then, now this, I might get kind of personal. My wife, you know, she's always like, elbow, she's kind of kicking me under the table now. So, question. Is there like, is there a character in this movie that you know personally? Like, is it a cousin? Is it an aunt? Is it a friend? Is it like an old boss that we're not gonna name? You know, do you know anybody personally that has any relation whatsoever? That's like real life to you in connection to one of the characters in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, they're me.
Wow.
You know, I really related to Jade's character. Jade's character, I could relate to a lot. I could also relate to Summer. I could relate to Jade and Summer. I think Jade, to me, reminded me of myself. You know, I didn't grow up Muslim. I grew up Christian. And so I grew up in a Christian home, but then when I was in college, I kind of like, you know, became a born again Christian and was like very like, this is the way it should be. And like, you need to convert. You know, I always think about that scene in the movie where she's like, you need to convert. You know?
Sounds like
and, yeah.
That sounds real cogent. Sorry, go ahead.
Amy.
Saying that.
But yeah, like I had that was kind of my approach to it all. And you know, and I heard a friend says that it's a difference between like holding your faith like this versus holding your faith like this. And to me, you know, I kind of went through a long time. I was holding on to my faith like this, like you have to convert and you have to do this, and you have to do it this way. And I think over time, I began to see it like this and to realize that different people practice in different ways, and you know, to just be more open to how different people express themselves and how different people express their faith. And like, you know, I think I relate to Summer because I think Summer's on that journey. Summer's a lot more open. Summer reminds me a lot of myself when I was a kid, like when I was younger, growing up in the church, where you know you're hearing, you know, certain things about what you should and shouldn't do. And in my mind, I'm like, well, what if I don't want to do that? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's kind of like you're being a rebellious teenager where you.
No, I would do that as well. You know what? He's looking at me. My dad is the pastor of an apostolic church. Like, I mean, like, apostolic, like no makeup, no jewelry, no pants type apostolic.
Oh, wow.
The way I look right now is not how I used to look.
This wouldn't work.
This wouldn't work. So that's why he's looking at me like that. But yeah.
Wow.
I definitely can relate.
Wow.
Well.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like we were talking about, like with growth. You know, with growth, you start to understand that, you know, it's different for everybody, and that's okay. And I was really excited about working on this project because this is Nigela's story, and this is, you know, this story is actually loosely based on her upbringing. And you know, she grew up in a Muslim home. Her father was Muslim. Her parents divorced when she was young, and you know, she just kind of always felt that conflict of going to the masjid on, you know, during the week, and then it's like you go home and you want to listen to Lil' Kim and you want to go to parties and you want to, like, you know, do your own thing. And so, you know, she always talks about like having that conflict and having that struggle with identities growing up. And I think that's one of the things that I love about the film so much is that I totally identify with that. Even growing up in a Christian home, it's like, you know, you feel that conflict. And then, you know, like I said, for me as an adult, I kind of went full throttle and was like, eh. And then, you know, just kind of leveled out. It was like, okay, let's see people as human beings, and let's really, you know, think about how just life can affect people's experiences.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's good.
Okay, so last question. For our audience who are watching this interview and are inspired by you, because I'm already inspired by you, but anywho, and him,
Oh,
Billy.
thank you.
What would be 3 key tips that you would give to those young people who are listening who want to go into producing and acting one day?
I would say continue to build your network. Just continue working and networking, and especially as a producer, it just helps when you have people around you who can help. And, you know, when you need certain things, to be able to call them and say, you know, I need help. But even just to have a support, like even just to have supportive people who are behind you and behind the project is just so key. And it helps keep you level-headed as well. So I would say that. I would say keep practicing your craft. You know, it's like, you know, my background is in directing. And so people always say, you're not a director if you're not directing. Same thing, you're not producing if you're not producing. You're not a producer if you're not producing. So it's like, you have to just continue to keep building your portfolio and building your resume and just continue to work on projects, because that's how you get better. And then the last thing I would say is, I think I would say trust the process. Trust the process. The process of filmmaking it's its own beast, and you really have to trust that it's going to work. Trust your own intuitions and your own, you know, sense of what you should be doing and, you know, in what capacity. Because I find that anytime I've kind of veered off, I've been like, I feel like this might work. And if I veer off of that and then it happens, and I'm like, dang it, I knew it. But, you know, just learning to like, just trust the process. You know, and sometimes we get into this thing where we try to force things to happen. And sometimes it's just not the right time. You know, it's not the right time for things. And that's part of trusting the process as well. When it's time for a project to come to fruition, it will. I believe that it will. And so you just have to trust that if, you know, sometimes when there's roadblocks, you have to keep pushing. Sometimes when there are roadblocks, you have to say, is it maybe time for me to shift, you know? So yeah, I would say trust the process would be the last one.
Wow, man.
That's inspiring.
It's really inspiring.
Yeah.
I gotta say, April, like, above your talent, above your gifting, like, your spirit, you know,
amazing,
is just through the roof. Thank you so
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, share. And I think like the foundation of everything that you've shared and everything that you said is, and it's about the relationships. It's about the relationship that you have with people. It's about the relationship that you have with your work. And it's about the relationship that you have with yourself. You got to trust you. And so that's real big. And I think that's something that my wife and I, especially, and the audience will take away from this interview, is that make sure you pay heavy attention to your relationships and be worth the relationships that you have.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
So much for your time. I can talk a lot. I'm gonna let my wife finish this off. I'm gonna shut up. So I can.
No, I don't have anything else to say. I think it's incredible, honestly. He's something else. I just let him speak sometimes. Thank you so much, seriously, for just taking out the time to speak with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we're super excited.
Thank you.
November 15th.
Yes.
That's correct. That's correct. Coming soon to a theater near you.
Right.
I hope we do.
Of course we do.
Okay, awesome.
Come on, I'm saying.
All right, see you, April.
Thank you, April.
Bye.
So, guys, as you can see,
April, she's something else. She's incredible.
She has such a great spirit. Okay, let me just give you
Beautiful
like a little sneak peek story. I didn't speak to her before telling you guys that she was my favorite person, but I felt just from reading her bio that she was just the sweetest soul.
Yeah.
And clearly we've just seen that now. She's honestly like super sweet.
I always tell people like a person's talent and gift does not compare to that person's spirit. April has such a beautiful spirit. We wish you super well in all that you do, and we know you're gonna do well because
100%.
you're just amazing. This is awesome. Babe, she's really cool.
I really love her.
I like her hair too.
Are you trying to tell me to do my hair like April now?
I didn't say that.
That's what he was trying to say.
First
of all, I wanted to dye my hair the other day, and you was the one who said don't dye my hair. Her hair is dyed, unless it's naturally that color.
I don't care.
If it's naturally that color, it's gorgeous.
It looks nice. Looks nice.
I'm done with you. Okay, well that's it for this week. I'm getting all tongue-tied. That's it for this week, guys. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure that you check us out every single Friday without fail, because either me or he will be here. Me or he?
I have a name, but...
Me or Chris Blue? Winner of The Voice 2012. He will be here half the time.
Season 12.
What did I say?
You said 2012.
Oh, did I say 2012?
Yeah, it's season.
Sorry. Winner of The Voice, season 12.
Listen, we've had so much fun. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to this channel, because we got a lot more news and interviews right here.
But before you try and like, just shove the people away,
all right, fine.
You can have your say too. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Our hashtag thingies and our @names are below. Make sure you follow us. And who do you want to see on the show? Tell us your favorite stars. The sky is the limit. Let us know, and we'll make sure to try our very best to get them right here on stage left. And also, if you have any questions for your favorite stars, again, use the hashtag and @us. DM me, DM him, DM Black Talent TV, and let us know your questions for the next interview. Until next time, go on, Chris. Lead us out.
I can.
Now you can lead us out.
Is it safe?
Yeah.
Okay. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later, right here on stage
left.